God says, believe it or not, your special person spent their entire last night with a woman. Yes, the one you've been crying over. The one you've been praying for. The one you trusted with your whole heart. And that special woman was not who you think. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't casual. It wasn't innocent. Heaven watched every second, and now I, the Lord your God, reveal it to you because the truth can no longer remain hidden. God says, you've been faithful in silence, loyal in confusion, and strong while wounded. But last night, while your heart was still thinking of them, they were laying down next to someone they once claimed to have forgotten. Someone who's been secretly messaging them, someone whose name you noticed pop up before but ignored because you wanted to trust them. This is the woman who has been working in the background, feeding them lies, playing victim, twisting your person's minda until last night. Last night was her victory. But only for a moment. Because God says this is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of divine reversal. Type 987 if you still believe in what God can do even in betrayal. Archangel Michael says, you have no idea how close you are to the breakthrough that Satan tried to block through seduction and confusion. That woman? She's been watching you. Envying your light. Whispering your name with venom. She only showed up again in your person's life because she knew what was coming next, a reunion between you and them ordained by heaven. That's what she's trying to destroy. But she's late. God says, she is too late. Jesus says, I saw your tears at 3 a.m. I saw you turning your phone over, praying they'd just check on you. While you prayed for them, they were held by someone who doesn't even believe in what you two share. She only wants what you have. Not the aim, just the attention they give you. The admiration. The love that used to be only yours. God says, your person isn't even fully aware of what they did. Spiritually, they are under an influence. They're being pulled by manipulation, by emotional confusion, by old wounds that she keeps exploiting. But God is stepping in now. Because the moment she touched your person last night, heaven released judgment. You may not see it today, but every lie whispered in that dark room will be exposed by divine light. Type 1111 if you are ready for God to reverse this betrayal. My child, God says you were never supposed to find out this way. But because you asked for trouble, even if it hurts, He is answering. That woman knew what she was doing. She didn't come by accident. She came the night before something special was going to shift between you and your person. She interrupted the blessing with seduction. But her victory will be short-lived. She may have had them last night, but she will never have their destiny. Jesus says, she pretended to listen, to care, to comfort. But deep down, she doesn't want your persona, she wants to be you. Her obsession isn't love, it's rivalry. Her spirit carries competition, jealousy, and witchcraft. Yes, I said witchcraft. Because God says, there was a spiritual exchange last night that tried to block your purpose, but it failed. God intercepted it. That's why you've been feeling a sudden heaviness today. A strange energy. An aching in your soul. Because your spirit picked up the betrayal before your mind knew. Archangel Michael says, You are under divine protection now. Your angels are standing guard. They've surrounded you because God is about to flip the entire script. Your person is going to wake up with regret that shakes their core. And the woman? She will be silenced. Not by you but by the hand of God. Every lie, every message, every manipulation will be exposed. God says, be still. Don't chase, don't confront, don't beg. Let me handle this. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. The one who tried to steal what was yours is now running out of time. The clock is ticking, and she knows it. That's why she rushed in last night, because she's afraid of what's coming for you. She knows your blessing is closer than ever. Type 667 if you receive this in your spirit. Jesus says, you don't need to compete. You don't need to fight dirty like she does. Your purity is your power. Your love is your weapon. And the tears you cried? They're watering the ground for your harvest. You will see the ones who mocked you, lied to you, and slept in your person's bed to watch you rise in glory. God says, you were not forgotten. You were being prepared. This betrayal was not rejection, it was redirection. It was revelation. God allowed you to feel this pain not to punish you but to position you. Because the love coming your way now will not be built on lies, lust, or confusion. It will be built on truth, on healing, on divine order. But before that, God says, I must remove what is not of me. That woman is not part of your future. She came from the past. She came with familiar spirits, wearing fake grace and temporary comfort. But God is not mocked. What she tried to build last night will crumble. The moment your person begins to see her true face, they will flee. And they will return. But not immediately. Not until they are broken enough to receive the truth. Not until I finish humbling them. And you? You must choose whether you will be available then. Because by the time they return, you may already be seated at a new table, with a new love, handpicked by heaven, who never needed to figure things out. Type 687 if you believe God is preparing someone better for you, even if it hurts right now. God says, be careful what you say today. Don't send that message. Don't post that status. Don't let your emotions move before my spirit does. I am working, even now. Even as they laugh, thinking you don't know. Even as she smiles, thinking she won. My angels are watching. My justice is moving. And what was done in darkness will scream in daylight. Jesus says, this will not break you. This will build you. This will stretch your heart, yes, but it will also purify your discernment. You will never again be blinded by charm. You will never again fall for half-truths. This is your spiritual graduation. This is where I teach you how to war with silence and worship. This is where you rise. God says, mark this day. Heaven is shifting timelines. What should have taken months will now take days. You will feel it soon. The calls, the dreams, the confessions. The guilt will torment them. And the woman who smiled last night will cry tears of confusion when she realizes she was just a test. This is your Esther season. You are being crowned in silence, elevated in secret. While others laugh, God is writing your redemption story. And by the time your person realizes what they last do, you will no longer be waiting. Type yes if you feel this. Share this message now. Let the enemy know you saw everything, and you still chose God. God says, I am not done speaking. You deserve to know it all. Because while they were wrapped in each other's arms, I wrapped you in my protection. I allowed the betrayal, but I blocked the curse. You felt the sting, but I didn't allow the poison to enter your soul. That's why you're still standing. That's why you're still breathing. That's why your spirit is still hearing me now. Archangel Michael says, your person has no idea the war that raged last night in the spirit realm. That woman invited darkness with her touch. Every kiss, every whisper, every sinful moment was an invitation to chaos. But heaven fought for you. Angels were dispatched while you slept. I covered your mind so you wouldn't spiral. I held your heart so you wouldn't break completely. God says, this is deeper than cheating. This was spiritual warfare. She wanted your crown. Not your man, not your woman or your anointing. She knows what's on your life. She knows your future is tied to legacy, power, divine wealth, generational healing. That's why she seduced them. Not because of love, but because of jealousy. Because of you. Jesus says, you are still waiting for an apology. But they won't give it yet. Not because they don't care you, but because guilt has made them blind. Their mind is clouded. Their spirit is sick. Their heart is torn. The bed they shared with her has become a prison in the spirit. Chains have been placed around them, not by me but by every lie they agreed to last night. And now I'm breaking those chains, but not for them. For you. Because you asked me to show you. And now you see. You cried for the truth and I brought it out of darkness. You were ready to give your whole heart, but I stopped you at the last second. That's why things felt off yesterday. That's why they went silent. That's why your heart dropped even before you knew. Your spirit was warning you. God says, the delay was protection. The rejection was a redirection. That person is still bound. Still confused. Still under influence. But you? You're rising. Type 113 if you know God just protected you from a hidden trap. Archangel Michael says, the woman who was with your person last night is already being tormented by the light you carry. She thought being in their bed would give her power, but all she feels now is shame. All she sees in the mirror is you. She knows she doesn't compare. She knows she stole a moment, but cannot steal the destiny. And your person. They won't be able to sleep right. They won't be able to breathe without feeling a heaviness. They will try to justify it, to numb it, to act like nothing happened. But their spirit will scream at them. Because when someone touches a chosen one's partner, they don't walk away unchanged. God says, this is judgment season. You don't need to post a thing. You don't need to expose them. You don't need to confront them. Let me do it. Because by this time next week, something will shift so drastically, even your enemies will whisper, "That must be God." Type 787 if you believe this week will bring divine reversal. Jesus says, you thought they were the one. But sometimes, the one isn't ready. Sometimes, the one fails the test. And even if they come back, we don't go back to what tried to break us. Unless God fully restores them, heals them, purifies them, you must keep walking. That woman might try again. She might send pictures, messages, hints. But it's because she senses she's losing. She knows her hold is temporary. Her smile is fake. Her touch is manipulative. She is a storm-wearing perfume. But heaven is about to silence her storm. God says, I am not a God who abandons. I reveal to heal. I expose to elevate. What you saw last night wasn't the end, it was the beginning of your upgrade. Now I can trust you. Now I can raise you. Now I can send you someone who will love you and fear me. Your person will look for you again. They will remember the way your spirit calmed them. The way your love was safe. The way your presence brought peace. But by then you will be glowing with so much divine confidence, they'll barely recognize you. Your spirit is ascending. And their betrayal was the final key. Type yes if you feel this. Share this message with someone who needs the truth. God says, I have prepared a table for you in the presence of the one who touched your person last night. And she will watch as you rise. She will watch as your name is spoken with favor. She will watch as the one she touched longs for the one they lost. But I'm not done. Would you like me to continue this prophetic message beyond this point with even deeper revelation? God says, my child, sit still and listen, because what I'm about to reveal next will shake the foundation of what you thought was real. I have seen everything. I heard every whispered lie between them. I watched your special person's heart hesitate before choosing the wrong path. I watched as the woman touched them not with love but with a spirit of control, seduction, and sabotage. God says, this isn't the first time. She's done this before. Quietly. Secretly. Every time you and your person were getting close to healing, she would come back. Every time you started to forgive, to rebuild, to trust again, she'd send a message, drop a photo, stir a memory. And last night? It was her most desperate attempt. She gave everything she had because deep down she knows your person is not hers. She knows their soul belongs to someone else. To you. Archangel Michael says, you must understand that this was an assignment. The enemy sent her with a spiritual mission, to delay your reunion, to confuse your person's heart, and to make you question your worth. But listen to heaven, you are not the mistake. You are the miracle. Type 777 if you know the devil tried to steal what's yours, but failed. Jesus says, your person is not evil but they are weak. They opened a door they were meant to shut forever. And now, that door is filled with smoke and confusion. They don't even realize the cost of what happened last night. But they will, because my spirit is already tugging at their chest. Their sleep will be restless. Their food will lose flavor. Their peace will vanish until they face what they've done. God says, she took what wasn't hers, but she will choke on it. That moment of false intimacy will become a chain around her own emotions. She thought she could win your person's heart by mimicking your kindness. She tried to copy your essence. She even changed her voice to sound like you. But what she can never imitate is the anointing on your life. And that is why she will never have true victory. The angels say, you did nothing wrong. Stop asking what you could have done differently. Stop blaming yourself. You were loyal. You were real. You prayed. You waited. You gave space. You held your tongue when you could have lashed out. You believed in love even when the proof was fading. And heaven recorded every second of your faithfulness. And because of that, you have a reward coming. Type 44 if you still believe love sent by God is worth waiting for. God says, I'm healing your heart even now. I'm closing the wound that last night reopened. I'm removing the energy of betrayal that tried to rest on your chest. You are not abandoned. You are not unlovable. You are protected, preserved, and preparing for promotion. What you lost last night will be returned sevenfold, but only if you let me carry the pain. Let me deal with her. Let me deal with him. You don't have to seek revenge. You don't have to prove your worth. I will raise you up so high, even those who left you for dead will ask to sit at your feet. Jesus says, she's going to realize very soon that he was never hers to keep. The illusion she's trying to maintain will start crumbling. And she will panic. She will reach out. She will try to drag your name through the mud. She may even twist the story to make you look like the jealous one. But hold your tongue, my child. For the truth needs no defense, it will rise on its own. God says, I'm about to turn the light on in your person's heart. What they did last night will hit them like a storm. They'll feel sick. They'll look at that woman and feel nothing but regret. They'll wonder why they felt tempted. Why they thought it would help. And in that regret, they'll see your face. Your love. Your voice. And they'll wish they never left. But by then a broken bar you may not be there. Archangel Michael says, you are being considered for greater love now. There's someone watching you. Someone heaven has shown visions of you. Someone who will never make you feel second place. But you must heal first. You must release the one who failed the test. You must stop hoping they will magically fix what they shattered without accountability. God says, there is a window of justice opening this week. In 72 hours, you will see signs. Unexplainable events. Messages. Sudden truths rising up from silence. The woman who smiled in sin will be shaken. Your person will feel the ache of every decision. And you? You will feel peace. At last. Type 667 if you are ready for that peace. Jesus says, this is where your story changes. This is where you no longer beg for what is already yours. This is where you stop shrinking to keep the peace. This is where you stop crying over people who sleep through your value. This is where the divine upgrades begin. God says, I am releasing visions into your dreams. Pay attention. The next 3 nights will reveal who's truly for you and who's faking loyalty. I'm pulling back the curtain. I'm shaking your person's soul. I'm drying up her lies. And I'm pouring down favor over your life. You've passed the test. Even with heartbreak in your chest, you still chose me. You didn't curse. You didn't attack. You didn't retaliate. You prayed. You broke. You trusted. And because of that broken bar, now I will bless you publicly. Do you want me to continue this message with the ending and prophetic release?